So I got actually called so I came home, got here, and saw it and was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Like, and then Jaden Daniels goes out injured, and they still continue to put up points. I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
I know, I know. Believe me, I know how it feels. We haven't even got to your game yet. We're just getting to Detroit at Minnesota. Probably the best game of the week, Sonia. I mean, Goff
Oh, I
has
missed
280
it.
yards, 2 touchdowns. Gibbs runs his butt off. Everybody looks like scores for Detroit, but Minnesota gave him a game. I mean, it was a tough game, fought to the end. Last field goal at the end, and now we got three teams tied for first. We got Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay who won too. So I mean, this division is out of sight this year.
Yeah, we all talked about the NFC North even before the season started. So it was no kind of, I hate to use the phrase no brainer, but we knew Detroit was going to be definitely bringing the pain. They wanted to come back. They got so close last year. And to have never gone to the Super Bowl, they literally are playing lights out trying to get back. It's so hard to get back. Dan Campbell said that last year when they were eliminated. And so you go against with the shocking part. I honestly didn't see Minnesota being one of the last remaining and the only NFC undefeated team with freaking Sam Darnold. I always kind of, I have to put this jab in there. Panthers players go to other teams and flourish. It never fails. I mean, and this is the classic example. They were undefeated, hard fight to the very end, but still at the very top of the food chain, as they say. So definitely game of the week, honestly.
Yeah, it was a great game, James. I mean, what did you see there about Minnesota? I mean, Detroit did win at the end, but listen, Minnesota jumped out fast. If their defense could have kind of slowed down a little bit, Detroit Gibbs had a huge game for him. The second running back, he had the big game this week. But I mean, Minnesota, I think is still real good. I still think they could beat a Green Bay or a Detroit under the right circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Detroit for winning this game, but they eked out a very close win. You looked at the game at right before the end, they got a fumble recovery and ran it back for a touchdown. I mean, so that's just how good that defense is, and that's a guy who rarely ever fumbles. That's so it's just a credit to the defense and to Brian Flores and what he's doing right now. But I'd like to say right now, let's flip it over to Detroit. I thought the biggest thing was to make sure you can get to Jared Goff and rattle him. And I think the hats off to the offensive line with being able to protect him and allowing him catch this. He has tied a record with Aaron Rodgers, Kurt Warner, and Roger Staubach for having 3 games in a row where he's got 140 or more passer rating. So right now he's just on point for being like pretty accurate. And he's always been accurate. As long as you give him protection, he won't get rattled. He can't face defense in the middle, that interior defense. And if it gets in his face, he gets shook up. But hats off to them right now for winning that game at the end.
Well, according to Jack Hirsch, he's a good field manager. That's what he is. So, I've been riding Jack all day because of his Mason Rudolph comments earlier. But anyway, the Chiefs did end up winning the game 28-18. Sloppy game. No, you picked the Chiefs. You picked the Chiefs here, Sonia. So you got to win there. But I mean,
hard to beat the Chiefs.
Yes, but listen, the 49ers, Brock Purdy had 3 interceptions. Mahomes had 2 interceptions. It was a real sloppy game. But listen, if you don't put the Chiefs away early, if you don't get a couple touchdowns leads on these guys, if you let them stay around, they're going to start coming on and they're going to beat you in the end. They do it all the time. Defense has played well. But again, the Chiefs are the only undefeated at 6-0, and the 49ers, believe it or not, fall below the Seattle Seahawks in the second place. Unbelievable. What are your thoughts, Sonia? I don't know if you probably didn't see the game.
I did see it. I did. I actually did see it. I was just like, you guys always hear me say I'm sick of Patrick Mahomes. I really wanted the 49ers to win, but it's kind of hard to beat the Chiefs, honestly. I mean, it's just hard to beat them. notwithstanding them being the reigning Super Bowl champs, it's like they almost came into the season like, yeah, we're still the champs. Most of the time when you see teams win the Super Bowl, they don't come back as strong that next season. I mean, you may see glimpses of the championship team, but you don't see them freaking undefeated this far into the season because, they do trades, injuries, things like that. But the Chiefs, I mean, they're literally for real. It's almost like they are the collaboration of Tom Brady all on one team.
Yeah, and we talked about the injuries too to the 49ers. Their wide receivers.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk got like a little injury today.
Yeah, and Samuels didn't play because he was sick, and they went with a lot of young receivers. But the defense played well for San Francisco. Listen, both quarterbacks had terrible passer ratings, but the most important stat is the win, right? You're 6-0, and you're pushing on. So there you go. So anyway, the Chiefs do end up beating the 49ers 28-18. So now we get to my team, the New York Giants. Oh, my God. I don't even want to talk about this. Saquon Barkley comes back and just shreds us, gets 176 yards in 3 quarters, folks. If he played 4, he probably would have 240. He just tore us up. The defensive backs played well. Hurts really didn't throw the ball well. He did get a couple push touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, but it was all Saquon Barkley running the ball, wearing the defense down. I think the Eagles had 8 sacks and the Giants had 6 sacks. So it was a great defensive game for a while, but after the second quarter into the second half, James, it was just all Eagles, man.
Look, you come back, you hear boo birds. I mean, it's all respect. I mean, you can tell. Obviously, they love him, but they're mad he went to the Eagles. But man, he came out and just dominated the game. I mean, it's just once he got that one big run, and then he realized he can run on him. He just didn't stop. And then the other guy got some good yardage as well. And then, of course, the quarterback got some too. I just figured this is what I thought. Coming into this game, a number 6 rushing offense versus a number 24 rushing defense, something had to give, and I think it showed itself with Saquon leading with Saquon Barkley having 17 carries, 176 rushing yards, 10 yards a clip, and he was very classy at the end. He said he loved his place. He loved the teammates. It was all love there. There was no hate there, no ill towards the city. But again, a W is a W, and that's what they wanted. And unfortunately, I just think for New York, not having a good offensive line, and they didn't really give Daniel Jones a lot of time, too. So
I mean, listen, Sonia, when you run the ball 6 times the whole game to your main running back, and you expect Daniel Jones to pick apart an Eagle defense that is in his face as soon as he gets the snap, you're not going to win that game. That's crazy.
Yeah, not only are you not going to win that game, but those are predictive plays. Like when you're running stuff like that consistently, like the other side is reading you like a book. Like you, there's no surprise. Part of the win is knowing how to surprise your opponent. Like trick plays, I often think of Taysom Hill, like his skill set is one of my favorites in the league because you don't know what position he's going to play when he goes out. Is he going to, pass? Is going to be quarterback? Like you just don't know. And so the element of surprise is one that when you're playing teams as offensively powered as the Eagles have been in the past, and then to know that they traded, they have Saquon Barkley, that little rivalry is already there. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. I mean, it's bad coaching when it comes down to it. Whoever designed those plays back to back like that, that's all on them.
I do blame the head coach for a terrible game plan, especially on the offensive side. So the Eagles go to 4-2, but guess what? They're not in first place because they got a team called the Commanders, who even without Jaden Daniels, and I don't know how bad the injury is, he got taken off the field. He's a little guy, and I've said this before. He's a little guy, and he likes to run the ball for touchdowns, sort of like he's a big guy. He's not. He's got to get out of bounds, and he's normally pretty smart about that. But Marcus Mariota comes in and says, "No problem. I'll throw for a couple touchdowns." And again, listen, the Commanders got a great running game. They really do, and their defense is playing really well. Andy Dalton has turned out to what We thought Andy Dalton would be, a couple interceptions. Bryce Young throws for -4, and I mean, yeah, I don't, I don't want to rub it in, Sonia, because I got nothing to say today, but I don't want to rub it in at all. Honestly, I don't. I don't know what their next move is. I mean, do you try to bring Bryce Young back in again? I don't know what you do now. Or you just stick with Andy Dalton?
That's the $1 million question. But to me, in this aspect of everything going on, I just don't even think it's the quarterback that's the issue anymore. I think it's a collection of issues. It's the team as a whole. This is the broken down offense we saw. I mean, I don't know. I guess they were resilient that one time once Andy Dalton came in, they were just like, okay, yeah. And that's it. Like I'm telling you, they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and that's the only win we have. Okay, like nothing else has happened for the Panthers, so it stayed in Vegas. Like I literally just thought about that. Like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, that win stayed in Vegas, and so did the team that won. Because I don't know what's happening here. I mean, it's embarrassing. 40-7. And I don't even know who scored a touchdown. I didn't even look at that part. But Jayden Daniels got hurt, but he did come back out. I saw him hugging Bryce Young at the end of the game. Literally, I watched the last minute, okay? Because once I saw the score, I was on my way upstairs to look at it, and I saw it go across the screen of another game. I was like, oh, I'm not even wasting steps to go upstairs to watch that. But they were doing victory formation when I got there. And so I guess the game was over so fast. Like it started the same time that Kansas City did. And it was over like 30 minutes early. I'm like, I guess they didn't have anything to question or call. No, no flags there because the beatdown is so bad. They're just ready to hurry and get it over with. Mac, I'm just going to be honest. And I mean, I'm sure that Panthers fans just echo this. I just wish we would just douse everybody and just start from scratch. I'm talking about management down to water boys. And Serper, if he can't get a play, he can go ahead and get up out of there too. Serper may need to get some of his friends to suit up the next game. I don't know, Damian Kaepernick I haven't seen him do anything as of late. And they even, let me tell you, just the desperation we had last year. Y'all know, year before last, they brought Cam back. So it's just what is this year? 4 or 5 of the losses, and they're getting worse.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't matter the quarterback. I think if you had a great quarterback in there right now, you might be almost 500, right? I mean, if you had a real good quarterback, maybe 500. It's a team thing. You're right, Sonia. That's exactly what it is right now. And you got the worst. Go ahead, Sonia.
No, got the worst what?
I was going to say you got the worst owner in the league. And everything flows from the top, right? I mean, it's just like it's a business. You got a business. If the CEO is bad, it ends up flowing down. I mean, since Daniel Snyder, I can't think of an owner any worse than the owner that you got over there right now. That's
the former owner of the Commanders. So yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, our owner throws drinks. If we threw touchdowns like he threw drinks, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I mean, he's tossing drinks and stuff, and it's just not been the same since Jerry Richardson, was forced to sell the team. To be honest with you, that's when it just from the Tepper era is just like you got to have a high temperament to deal with Tepper. That's the way I look at it because it's been a roller coaster, and I don't know. I mean, I tell you guys all the time, I poll my little fan club I have, and I can see the membership and because Facebook tells you the engagement. Oh, it's way down. It's like 80% less engagement every, and that's low. That's super. Like that's a big drop. We went from like 12,000 members to now 7,500. Like folks are leaving, it's just really difficult to be a fan. And the only good thing is that J Train Saints are only like a game or two ahead of us, so we're still in the runnings for last place.
Yes, you are. So I think that's Bryce Young calling me right now. He's looking to see if he can get a trade to the Giants, but it wouldn't be good there either. So anyway, so we've got, of course, we already talked about the Vegas beating the Rams in a boring game.
Did you guys talk about the Tom Brady hologram with that game?
With a hologram? No.
Yes.
No, we
They
didn't talk
had it
about
was sickening. You guys know he's now part owner of the Raiders. They basically, I just heard the tail end of it. They basically started today's game with a hologram of him.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Tom Brady, as far as an announcer goes, he's gotten a lot better. I'm gonna give him some credit here. He's a lot more into the game than he was before. He's kind of putting players down. He's kind of excited about the game, about the hits. He's a lot better. He's a lot more animated than he was in the beginning. So he's getting better there. We'll see how he works out as a Raider owner, part owner. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
don't even
gave him like a whole lot of stipulations about not being at other people's facilities. I mean, some of the rules are for anybody, but with Tom, you got to make sure it's in writing for real. And I will say that he has a new commercial with Fox. I don't know if y'all have seen it, about him basically going down in Fox history as the greatest announcer of all times.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Right.
I don't think anybody could beat John Madden, but who knows? You're talking about Dak and Bryce.
Dak gave out a ring because he can't get one, so he got engaged. So he's giving out rings, he just can't get one. No, we don't want Dak.
That's right. Listen, Dak is a lot better than Bryce Young. I'm sorry, dude, but I mean, come on. Let's be honest. So we got the Jets and the Steelers coming up. The biggest news, of course, is Russell Wilson will be starting today. They did make a deal with Hassan Reddick to bring him on board. I don't know if he's playing. He's probably playing tonight. He's probably got to do something or whatever to get back on the team. I'm not sure what that will do. I don't think he's playing tonight. I haven't heard he is. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens if Russell Wilson succeeds or if he fails. Jack talked about relief quarterbacks, and two quarterbacks I know means not any quarterback. And I think if Fields starts, you let him play the game. If Russell Wilson starts, you let him play the whole game, and then you make a decision after that.
I mean, like we talked about earlier, I'm going to stick with my thoughts on that. I think it has to be something that Tomlin is seeing in practice. You let the guy try with the number ones, and I'm pretty sure with Justin Fields, they had a small package for him. They got a small package. They probably can do more with Russell Wilson in the game because the playbook is probably a lot bigger, and they can broaden it with his play. So they're going to see what they can get out of him. But initially, Russell Wilson was the guy to be their quarterback. I saw that initially as well. Justin Fields, you saw what he did in Chicago. Obviously, it's a different team, but I didn't see enough. I didn't see greatness coming out of him to say that, okay, you're going to keep him as a quarterback. I mean, I see somebody just holding the ship just steady until maybe somebody like Russell Wilson come out and do a lot more with that ship.
Well, I'll tell you my thoughts after Sonia gives me hers. I'm not even going to try and sway you, Sonia. What do you think of this?
This is a mess from the beginning. I don't even know why they signed both of them. It was just basically trying to create some type of Steelers drama to keep them relevant. I guess all quarterbacks sometimes show you who they really are, no matter where they go. You kind of see the flashes of who they are. And like you guys both said, you probably saw something at practice, but from the beginning, I can't remember which one of them was signed first. Russell, right? Russell was signed first. That was supposed to have been Russell's team. Justin came in and basically, looked like he took Russell's job. But that situation is not going to last long. You got to remember that Pittsburgh is not really even paying Russell that much. They got him for cheap, like a $2 hoe. And so they got to get some turns out of him while he's up there.
Wow. If your Sunday teacher heard you say that, she'd slap you silly. Listen. I'm gonna tell you my take on this. We're talking. What did Allen Iverson say? We're talking about practice. Is that what we're talking?
Right.
We're talking about practice. What's his record as a starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? 4-2, right? Isn't that what his record is? So I would go with the quarterback that got me to 4-2 until he gets me to 4-4 or 4-5. That'll make sense. And as far as being Russell Wilson's team, listen, it was also Tony Romo's team till Dak Prescott took it over. It was also Drew Bledsoe's team till Tom Brady took it over. That means nothing. It matters who wins in games to me. And right now, under Fields, as the quarterback right now. They're 4-2. I think in first
So why
place.
bench him? So why bring Russell in then?
Comparisons. I have to disagree with you about those comparisons. Justin Fields had opportunity to play, and you saw what he was before.
No. I don't want to hear Chicago. I don't want to go to Chicago. We went to Chicago. We went to Chicago already, James. I'm not going back. I am not going back to Chicago. Chicago was a different team, different owner, different GM, different coach, different everything. We're talking. He's on the Steelers now. We're talking right today. I don't.
But it doesn't matter, Mac. Those guys had no experience. You didn't know who Tom Brady was. You didn't know who Dak Prescott was when they came in from injury.
And guess who else? And guess who else came out of nowhere? The guy you're talking about, Russell Wilson, also won the starting job and became the starting quarterback. I don't care about that. I'm talking about what the Pittsburgh Steelers are right now, James. What place are they in?
Why would they bench him?
They're in first, right?
Yeah.
So
why would they bench him then?
Exactly. Because Russell Wilson, right now, it has to be something from upstairs to me, is being told to Tomlin. And that's what I think is happening right now. I think they're telling him upstairs that Justin Fields, that Russell Wilson should start. And that's what I think is going on. And that's my opinion. Because I don't see any other opinion. I don't see anything other.
Just unnecessary drama. Because they're winning it for now, and now they got him in there. Watch it change.
Yeah,
well, it's not just drama on that side. Let's be honest here. It's going to be drama on the Jet side as well. I mean, we got a receiver coming in. You got a quarterback that got his coach fired. So there's drama all over the field here. So it'll be interesting to see how this game goes. I think there are two great defenses. One thing you can say without the drama, two great defenses going against each other. And I don't know. I'm not rooting for Rodgers, but because I just think that he's being a bit of a diva right now. But I do expect them to win this game.
I'll tell you right now, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens tonight with Rodgers, with all the stuff that he's done this year. And he's supposed to be the guy that got him to Super Bowl last year. Didn't happen. He's supposed to be the guy this year. Now he's got everything he needs, right? He's got all his whole team back. Now Hassan Reddick's coming on board. I mean, the Jets should go to the Super Bowl now, right? I mean, this is what should happen. But right? I mean, this is it. I mean, who else can you get? I mean, who else are you going to get out there? You got one of the premier wide receivers. You've got a wide receiver that played with you with the Packers.
Gardner, yeah,
right?
all that.
You got two running backs that are above average, right? And I mean, what else? You got a defense that's top three. There's no reason that the Jets.
There should be no excuse right now. Not at all.
What's the status on Miles Williams? Is he playing tonight or calling out again?
Who?
That's the one that Aaron Rodgers threw under the bus. Is he playing tonight or are they calling out again? They said he didn't practice today.
They're trying to get rid of him. They're trying to get rid of him.
I told you guys that's the word out there. They said he's Adam Schefter, and when it comes from Shefty, it's pretty much guaranteed.
Yes. After they picked up and Wilson, as we said a couple of weeks ago, that was his favorite receiver. So I mean, now since his buddy's there, it's going to be interesting. I mean, if the Jets lose tonight, I don't know what the Jet fans will say now. I have no idea what they'll talk about. So anyway, any other news that you got as far as your Saints go? Is there anything that we can look forward from the New Orleans Saints in their next game here, James?
Brown paper bags.
That's not even funny.
That's about it, man. All the injuries. I mean, again, 42% injury rate. That's leading the league. That's just, you can't overcome that. I mean, you got guys like Rasheed. I mean, to key players, Paulson Adebo, femur broken, out for the season. Rashid Shaheed, knee surgery. The guys that take the top off the defense, out for the season. Olave, I think he's going to be coming back at some point. He had a concussion, but Taysom Hill out. He's not out for the season, but he's been out. Derek Carr out. I mean, it's just
think about it, James. You got the Chargers, which might be a loss for you, but then you play the Panthers, you play the Falcons, you play the Browns.
That's right. So get ready to take this L. Retribution is coming.
Girl, stop.
Retribution is coming.
I'm just saying. I mean, 3 out of the next 4 games, You got a shot. How you doing, Craig? Glad to have you. And that's my buddy Craig Wright, who's a big Detroit fan. Now in
Oh
first.
yeah, he owns the
Tied.
restaurant, right?
Yeah,
He's the chef.
Yes, he is a chef.
All right, Craig. Let's not go overboard. They didn't kick tail. They won by like a squeaker there.
They're
But they
6-1.
are the best
win.
team.
They're
That's
6-1
win is a
right
win.
now.
Yes.
Yes. We're not going to talk about the Tigers or the Pistons. We'll stick with the Lions, Greg. Okay? We're not going to talk about them. It's an NFL show anyway. But I am very impressed with the Lions, Greg, and I think
same.
they have a real good shot this year. I mean, if you look at it right now, you got 3 teams tied right now in the NFC North. Commanders have 1 loss also, so they're tied with them. And then over in the South right now, Seattle's in first place. Surprise, surprise. Dallas is 3-3. They didn't look good at all. So I mean, what do you think? Is it Tampa Bay, Seattle Seahawks, Philadelphia Eagles, and what? 3 teams from the NFC North? Is that what we're looking at?
NFC South. The NFC collectively has so many teams that are bad right now. I wouldn't be surprised if 4 teams come out of the NFC North and would make the playoffs.
Well, I want to make an announcement real quick, Mac.
Okay.
I just had an epiphany, and I'm going to make it on here so you guys will just know. I have officially adopted a team for the season, and the team, so I can be happy with the season and, not just frustrated. So the Panthers are still my team, but they've now moved to the trunk of the car. Forget the back seat. They're in the trunk. Right. They're hanging onto the bumper of the car. Because this team also is a feline and the Panthers are felines, I am going to be adopting the Detroit Lions this season.
Okay. Wow. I thought you were going to say the Jacksonville Jags. No, okay.
No, sir. Not with Trevor Lawrence Targaryen from House of Dragons or Game of Thrones. No, sir. Not Barbie. Not Barbie.
We talked about it a little bit. We talked about it a little bit today. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they get a rolling. You never know. I mean, the Jags looked good against the Patriots, right? Worst team in the league.
The Lions are indeed probably the pride of the no pun intended, the pride of the NFC.
Greg says you can jump on the bandwagon there.
Thank you, Craig. I am officially on and riding with you guys. Thank you.
Worst team in the NFL right now. Patriots, Panthers, Giants. I'm trying to think of any other ones there. The Titans.
What was the first team you said?
Patriots. Panthers,
oh, yeah. Garbage.
Panthers, Patriots, Titans.
Garbage.
Giants. Who do you got for the boys? Who do you
got? All for the garbage except for the Panthers.
Who's your worst team, James? Who's the worst team right now in the NFL?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be the Panthers. I mean, come on.
Why you guys get me on the show just to say some mess like that?
I mean, he asked. I you want me to be honest? I mean,
no, he blended his team in there so it didn't sound bad. But they got more wins than we did.
I mean, I'm not just saying because of the team, and I'm thinking because of the ownership mostly. But yeah, that's not right.
Be honest, Sonia. It probably comes down to the Patriots and the Panthers, I would think.
How many games have the Patriots won?
I would think.
Oh, they only won 1, 2?
I think so.
2 or 1? 1.
I think it's 1.
I think so.
It might be a tie. I'll go ahead. You guys are not going to be able to be happily ending the show without me saying it. How many games have the Giants won?
2, I think, right?
2.
I think the Giants are, okay? Let me just tell you the reason why. Their fan base is insufferable. They consistently lost every season.
I'll take it. That's
it's the Panthers, guys. Seriously, all jokes aside, it's the Panthers. Like, we feel that way as fans, and it's bad. Like, I think we're worse than the Patriots. At least the Patriots, I don't know. It's just different. They're different. They won more than 2 games last year, I think. So,
yeah,
we have a collective win of 3 wins in the last year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough. The Bears will be back on top soon. The Bears are right there. I don't know. They only got 2 losses. The Bears will be back on top. They're not going to the door. They're knocking on the door there, Davian. I mean,
No
listen.
deity. Okay.
I don't know. He's talking about something else.
He's drinking.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. Tony, thanks for stopping in. James, again, thanks for being here. NFL Download every Sunday, 7 p.m. We get you updated on all the games. Start previewing the Sunday night's game. And thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Have a good one. What? Go ahead, James.
Before you do that, you want to go over the fantasy numbers?
The fantasy for what?
For us
Yeah,
versus
you gotta have it for the NFL show, James.
Okay.
I mean, all right. But yeah, go over them first right now. Go over them right now. We'll do it again Sunday.
All right, cool. So right now we are losing, and we're losing heavily. We are total for week 6. We have 611 points, 74 points, fantasy points. And the top 100, the NFL has 770 even.
How are we doing so bad?
I got a fantasy too, guys. I could add my numbers in there.
We had a good week last week. What's going on there?
We did, man. But I mean, their running backs and their quarterbacks seem to be killing us, and that's just how it goes, man. We Derrick Henry is.
We had Mahomes today, so we're not going to be doing that good next week. I mean, Mahomes.
We never do well with him.
Oh my God. Oh my God! Could he get just hurt for a little bit so we can put it on?
Please, just for
a game.
Let him have diarrhea for a couple of games.
Diarrhea. We don't want him to get hurt.
No, we don't want him to get hurt. We don't want to get hurt. Again, thanks, folks. See you tomorrow on Mac and Jack. Also on the Big Blue Blues Brothers show, where we'll sit there and we'll tell you how bad the Giants are. It's a fun show. Be there for that too. Have a great one and enjoy the Jets in Pittsburgh. Should be a good one.
Steelers.